Good day everyone. In this video, I am talking about transformer construction and rewinding part 1. This video is especially for the electronic students and to those who are enthusiasts in electronics. Transformer construction and rewinding. A new transformer is wound similarly to one that is being repaired or rewound. However, in a new transformer, the number of turns and the sizes of wires and cores are calculated according to its specification. A coil is unwound on a winding machine to determine the number of turns in the original coil as registered in the counter of the machine. It is better to begin winding small transformers. Why? Because they are easier to belt. Wind the coil on a preformed plastic bobbin, which is sometimes called as a former. It is available at electronics or electrical stores in sizes ranging from 3/8 by 3/8 up to 1 by 1 inch. A preformed bobbin makes winding convenient and fast. Before anything else, I would like to introduce to you the materials for constructing a power transformer. We need, of course, a bobbin, magnetic wire, hook-up wire, masking tape, insulating paper, iron core, terminal strips, insulating varnish, cover clamp, and eyelets. Here also are the tools needed for the construction of a power transformer. We have pliers, electrical, long nose, side cutter. Then of course, we need a soldering iron, a round hammer, a scissor, a flat screwdriver, and Phillips screwdriver, and most especially, rewinding machine. Of course, we cannot rewind transformer without the rewinding machine. This illustration is the preformed plastic. Secondary coil is wound on top of primary. The coils of the transformer are wound one over the other. The primary coil is wound first, followed by the secondary. So this is now the illustration of the primary and secondary coil, which are laid side by side. Small transformer usually do not use insulating material laid between layer of the coil. Wind continuously one layer over another until the coil is completed. If another coil is to be wound over the first one, wrap insulating materials such as fish paper or silicone over the first coil before winding the succeeding coil. So this is to illustrate on how to wrap insulating power over the first coil. Then the winding of the secondary coil over the first one. This is how to hold the wire. In the absence of a plastic bobbin, replace it by one made of fish paper, which is cut 2 pieces of fish paper for the side walls and one for the coil form according to the size of the core and glue them together. So this is now the illustration of the side wall of the bobbin, cut along broken lines, coil form, fold along broken lines, gluing side walls to coil form. And this one, as the completed bobbin. Winding coils of large transformer is done on a wooden former. It is used to support a coil form holding the coils. To make a former, cut a square or rectangular piece of wood 3.5 inches long. Drill a hole at the center of the bobbin so it can be inserted onto the shaft of the winding machine. Make the diameter of the hole a little bigger than the shaft. In a rectangular type of bobbin, one side is equal to the measurement of the center of the iron core. The larger side of the bobbin equals the thickness of the core. So this is now the picture of a wooden bobbin. The coil of larger transformer are usually insulated between layers. We can use either cartolina, fish paper, or silicone of the same size as the coil form is commonly used to insulate its layer. The insulation increases the ability of the transformer to withstand heat buildup. How to determine the width of a coil form? To determine the approximate length of the coil form, wrap a piece of paper around the wooden bobbin and about 2 ends of an overlap. This paper serves as guide to cutting the right length of fish paper for a coil form. Cutting the coil form without taking measurement, it may result to an insufficient or excessive length of the coil form, and of course, it is a waste of a paper, especially to someone with experience. One can estimate the length of the coil form without necessarily measuring the bobbin. To determine the width of a coil form, we have to place masking tape on fish paper. Wrap tightly the fish paper around the bobbin with adhesive side facing upwards. Place the overlapping ends of the coil form at the center leg of the bobbin and fold the end of the tip to secure the joint of the coil form. Then the complete coil form will be removed from the wooden former. So this is the illustration on how to place masking tape on a fish paper and how to wrap fish paper around the bobbin. Wrapping fish paper around the bobbin, then securing coil form with tape. So this is now the finished coil form. Fitting preformed bobbin to the winder shaft. The hole of a plastic bobbin, we call it as coil form, is larger than the diameter of the shaft of the winder. In order that the bobbin hold on the winder firmly, the diameter of the shaft should be increased by wrapping a sheet of paper around the shaft until the desired diameter is achieved. Fasten with the tip at the end of the paper. Tighten the nut of the shaft to lock the bobbin firmly. In case the centering space of the winder fits inside the bobbin, there is no need to add paper to the shaft to center the bobbin. So this is how to adjust the diameter of the shaft with the paper. Then, the bobbin is placed firmly on the shaft. In winding coils, preformed bobbin has slots on the sides to hold the leads of coil. Secure external leads of the coils in these slots temporarily. Extend the wire about 3 or more inches outside the bobbin and tie its end around the shaft or simply fasten with masking tape. Set the counter to 0 before winding. In case of a rectangular coil form, start winding the coil on top of the center leg. If the coil form is square, winding can be started on any side. It is also necessary to start and end winding its layer of the coil by leaving about 1/8 inch allowance from the edges of the coil form. As the shaft of the winding machine is turning, hold the magnet wire and move it slowly from one side to the other, then move back and so on. Spread evenly the wire over the coil form until one layer is completed. So we need to start the coil on top of the center leg. So this is now the illustration of the coil that is wound with 1/8 inch margin from the edges of the coil form. In a large transformer, before winding another layer, remember to wrap insulating paper on top of the completed one. Wind a new layer in reverse direction. So this is insulating its layer in coils of large transformers. then winding a new layer in reverse direction. To top a coil, make a loop of the magnet wire about 4 inches long. Extend it outside the bobbin and continue winding. The procedure in the coil topping is the same for small and large transformers. Whenever there is a broken wires, we can join it. How? Once in a while, you come across broken wires in a spool. Sometimes, you may snap a fine wire during winding. Too much pressure applied to the magnet wire can break it. Join both ends of the broken wire and extend it about 3 inches long outside the bobbin. Tape it to distinguish from the other wires and continue winding. Solder the extended ends of the broken wire together after all the coils are completed. Then insulate the soldered connection with paper and tape it over the coil. The coil terminals. The location of the transformer terminals depends on how you place them on the bobbin. This applies to small and large transformer. Terminals can be either on both sides of the iron core or one side only. Completed transformer correspond to the different placement of terminals and the coil form described earlier. Usually, every pair of coil terminals is placed together close to each other. The primary coil terminals are commonly placed on one side and the secondary on the other side. That's all. Thank you. View, subscribe, like, and share. Thank you for watching and God bless.